Legendary Hero here, and I'm back to bring you my review of A Link to the Past. With A Link to the Past, I have been playing this game for a decade now. I have a lot of experience with the game. I know where to get every item in the game. I know where all the heart pieces are. I know where the Master Sword is. In the beginning of the game, it starts off with a backstory of the Great Hyrule War and how these maidens have been captured. And at the same time, Link's uncle is about to go to the castle and says, "Oh, stay here in bed, I'll be right back." But since Link knows Zelda's in trouble, he has to come and save her. So he runs to save her and then falls down to the dungeon where he sees his uncle who's dying, and leaves Link his sword and his shield so he can defend himself against the enemies who have been corrupted by Aghanim's power, I think it's pronounced. And Link goes around in Hyrule Castle fighting Aghanim's soldiers, and eventually he finds Zelda there, and he has to get Zelda out of the castle and bring her to the church so she'll be safe with the priest. And then after that, the priest tells you have to find 3 pendants in 3 different temples. And he tells you to go to Kakariko Village to talk to someone to tell you where each one is. Then once you go to Kakariko Village, you go to the first dungeon where you get the bow. And in that dungeon, though, you fight these statues, these giant statues called Armos, and they spin around, and you have to, like, shoot them with your bow to attack them, and then you get the first pendant. And then after that, you're on your way to the second one, where you have to get this book that's in this library or bookstore, like after you got the Pegasus boots before you head into the first dungeon. And then once you got into the book, you go to where the temple is, where it translates what it has to say, and you sing, and it has this statue that was blocking the way, and it swings around, so now you can enter the temple. And then once you go into that temple, enter the temple, you eventually go to fight this sandworm. And how you do that is you wait till it comes up, and you strike it with either your sword or a bow. And then after that, you get the second pendant. And after you finish that dungeon, you have to go to Death Mountain. And then once you go to Death Mountain, you have this mirror that can have you go to the Dark World. And then once you go to the Dark World, Link changes form, so he's not human in the Dark World. He turns into a rabbit, but when he goes in the regular world or the light world, he's normal. And in the third dungeon, you get this item that keeps your human form when you go to the Dark World, so you can be able to use your items. And then after that, you get the Master Sword, and then onto the Dark World, where you eventually fight Ganon. And all the other dungeons, you'll get a hammer, magic rods, tunic upgrades, and all different kinds of stuff. And then after that, you eventually fight Ganon. With the Ganon fight, he has this trident he'll, like, throw after you, and you have to dodge it, and he'll also do all this other stuff too, like an Ocarina of Time. When you fight him, he'll make, like, the ground floor disappear, so it'll be harder to get away from him. It'll draw you more closer to him. And he'll also put out torches, so he can take this form of, like, a flaming bat and attack you with that, so you get your fire rod and light the torches, and you can be able to see him. And then after you defeat Ganon, you save Zelda, get the Triforce, and make a wish that everything was back to normal. And now time for my thoughts on the game. I thought the game's really fun. Like, there's a lot you can do in the game. The overworld's amazing. There's just so much you can do in this game. if I were to put it on my top 10 Zelda list, I would just put it above the original at the number 4 spot. The reason why is because you can do a lot more in A Link to the Past than you could do in the original. Like, you can visit towns, you can meet all these different characters, you have side quests you can do. There's just so much more you can do in A Link to the Past than you can do in the original. And that's it. Bye-bye.